Greetings and spooky salutations, O sailors of the cosmic seas. I am the narrator, and you join me in the crypt beneath my crystal pavilion. I have something very special for you today. My Heart is Full of Teeth by Vale Blackwood at gorepunk.itch.io, a lasers and feelings hack. To play this particular wonder, I have dug up 3 terrible creatures from their cobwebbed catacombs. These hideous, shambling abominations might frighten you. Their countenance is warped and twisted, their voices racked with torment, and their brains have long since rotten away completely. These are my Ludonauts. Introduce yourselves, my hellspawn.
Hello, I'm Craig, and I'll be playing the vampire, Bert.
I'm Michael, and I will be playing the vampire, Thaddeus Taswell.
Hello, I'm Ewan, and I shall be playing the vampire, Percy Bredworth.
The camera moves down through stormlit night into the heart of alternate New Orleans. Imagine skyscrapers in the style of the French Quarter reaching up into the sky, dotted by gargoyles and twisted monstrosities. The streets are full of mafiosos and gangbangers, and even though windows may be cracked and walls daubed with graffiti, the people of this city bond together in a strange us versus them mentality. In one particular corner of one particular quarter, the old part, there's a single house, creaking, built with rotting boards and daubed in obscene phrases. Inside, there are 3 hideous abominations against God and man, things that even the light of day cannot ever touch again. Their haunted reveries are interrupted by a knock at their rusted door.
Someone going to get that?
I can't walk. My legs have stopped working again.
There's an ominous thud sound as we hear Percy shutting the door of the attic behind him, and he locks it firmly.
With many locks.
Many locks. None of the 2 other vampires that live in the house have seen what Percy keeps in the attic.
His dark secret.
His dark secret. Percy slowly shambles down the stairs. He's an elderly looking man. He's wearing a tweed suit, and he's got a short, neat grey moustache. We see him get to the door. He opens it carefully, peering round at the visitor to the Coven house.
A small child dressed in a legally distinct Star Combat Adventurers costume peers up at the weird, haunted looking old man.
No, he's quite a normal looking old man.
Oh, he's quite a normal looking man.
Maybe a little bit pale, but apart from that.
Holds out a little plastic pail in the shape of a jack-o'-lantern. Trick or treat?
Oh, how simply charming. My word, is it Halloween already? It comes round so very, very quickly. He rustles round in his tweed suit and pulls out several Werther's Originals, which he pops into the little jack-o'-lantern shaped box.
She peers inside, obviously disappointed.
Well, I can remember the first sweet my grandfather gave me.
The child's eyes glaze over immediately.
It was a Werther's Original, and I was 4.
And it was the original Werther's Original.
It was made by Werther, 1787.
Her mouth drops open, and a serpentine voice hisses out, saying, "Meet me on the top floor of the Pine Seed Alley Consortium." And then she goes, "Thanks for the crappy candy, mister," and then sloughs off into the night.
Percy sighs. Lads, I think it's going to be one of those nights.
As Percy closes the door, already standing behind it with an old cavalry sabre in hand, Taswell is just standing there staring at him. And is like, "What was that? Hunters?"
No, creepy child, the usual business. We have to go to the
Pine Seed Alley Consortium.
I shall make a... He pulls out a small pocket book and makes a note of this.
In very neat handwriting,
In very neat, fancy floral cursive handwriting.
As he was taught in school.
Bert will crawl towards the door, leaving a snail trail of various fluids. Was that food? Someone to fix my legs?
No.
Bert, when was the last time you drank anything?
That's a question.
Blood, I mean.
Blood. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. It could have been some time.
You really need to take better care of your own life.
Well, I can't walk.
Well,
I need help.
That is entirely your fault.
I'm just going to keep leaking.
Now, lad. Percy goes over and pulls Bert up so he's at least vertical.
This is very dizzy.
Come on, you need to pull yourself together, man.
I'm trying.
Do you not make it past 50 years at this rate?
It's been a month.
Should I go and capture that child so that you can drink it?
That would be lovely. Thank you.
I'll try and fly out of
You know, I would maybe hold off on that. There's a chance she's probably not actually a child, some sort of monstrous creature from beyond. It's not worth the hassle, lads.
Okay.
If it makes you feel better, it is Halloween. There's lots of people about.
Well, we can probably pick up something on the way.
We'll get a meal deal.
Something snack-sized. Yeah.
No, I don't think that they'll be making a deal about it.
Well, we could get, like, a guy, and then, like, something for dessert. You know.
A different guy.
Maybe half a guy, or, like, a minty man or something. I'm new to this.
Yes, so I keep hearing.
Could you two paint a verbal portrait of what your characters look like?
Absolutely. Thaddeus Taswell is dressed entirely in mismatching clothes, some of which have got obvious holes ripped into them. He's carrying various like heavy objects and sharp things, and is making very little effort to look like he fits in with normal society in any way, shape or form. His hair is long and wild, and almost entirely ungroomed.
Bert is like a month into being a vampire, and he's currently incredibly pale and pallid, but you can't necessarily see that for the filth and the sort of like just
The grime.
the grime. He's wearing a potato sack.
Which, considering this is 80s...
I can go harder here. I'll do two versions. So he's wearing a potato sack that's just upsettingly too short for him. And nothing else.
Bert, I have plenty of clothes.
Does Bert have hair?
He's like a month in, but he's already like a Nosferatu-esque. Like husk. Like longish hair that's completely thinned to like just strands.
Gollum-esque.
Gollum-esque with like bad teeth and just leaking from every orifice.
Percy pulls out a pocket handkerchief and spits on it and starts wiping Bert's face a little bit just to sort of wipe the worst off.
Oh, thank you. That feels good.
That is a bird pecking at the Diamond Mountain of Eternity, my friend.
Yes.
I'm going to come back in with a mountain of various, like, completely different sized and aged trousers and just throw them towards Bert and be like, some of these.
Okay, I'll construct an outfit of trousers. Like I'll put like trousers over my arms and trousers over my, like just like a trouser scarf. So I'm trousered up.
At the very least, your leakings won't harm them very much. Most of them have got some blood on them already.
You can see dark patches forming. People expect sexy vampires now, and I'm a dilapidated. I was going to say elder vampire, but not elder. But like
Youthful.
In the style of an elder vampire.
Percy, do you know this place that we're supposed to go to?
Oh, I have been once or twice in the course of my perambulations. What's it like?
It's like a Carnegie Hall. You know what I mean? It's like a with a merchants guild or whatever would hang out. Like the modern day stuff. They don't call it merchants guild, but it's always like the business owners. Like they've got this nice thing. Legitimate business owners, of course. The illegitimate business owners would meet in the all across the road.
Crime is an issue in this city.
It is absolutely an issue.
Certainly, I've held many fabulous balls in the location. I have spent many a night there dancing the foxtrot and the fandango.
I think if we go out, it'll be good for me. We can, like you say, we can get some dinner, maybe some calpul and some fresh air, and I'd like that. I'd like that.
Okay, well, I'll pick Bert up by the potato sack and just carry him over to the door.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy, Thaddeus, because I was going to ask you to carry me.
Okay.
Is it what style? Is this bridal? Is it fireman?
No, just like a shopping bag.
Well, I'm in a sack.
Yeah.
Or was in a sack.
Percy gets his umbrella out from the stand by the door. He says, "Well, gentlemen, shall we make a move?
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Shall we make our way directly there, or are you fellows wanting to top up a little, so to speak?"
Yes,
Yeah,
well, I'm just looking out to see if there's anyone in the general area.
No, always is. You can walk along Main Street, or there's always Murder Alley.
Oh, Murder Alley.
As an elderly-looking man, my usual modus operandi for feeding is to walk down a dark alleyway, get jumped, and then absolutely murder them.
It's a classic for a
It's
reason.
a classic.
Absolute classic.
And Murder Alley is very long and has 2 double back curves, so you're completely hidden from the view
Murder
of
Alley,
people.
gents?
Murder Alley.
So,
I'm easy, Uzi. Like I'm happy enough just to be with you.
You need more of a drive.
you do actually.
You won't make it as a child of the night in this world without that.
Well, that's
Spirit,
fair,
you know.
probably.
Vampires are supposed to be, creatures of ambition.
Well, I want to prove you wrong.
You slip into the comfortable darkness of Murder Alley, away from the illuminations of Main Street. You take the first double back curve, and
I meander down it, humming to myself.
Are you spinning-
Some sort of 1940s jazz number. And I'm swinging my cane very slightly.
of course,
I'm almost inviting violence.
I'm just stalking forward with, assuredness. A torso hanging from a bag under my arm.
I'm just comfortably asleep.
Is there...
thrilling radio.
I'm looking for any living person in this alley.
As you step over a sleeping vagrant, you hear the
Oh, sleeping vagrant, that'll do. I'll just chuck her right at him.
just drop him
There you go.
Reading my mind.
like a cat on a litter tray.
How about it?
Okay, I'll sort of.
Latch on.
I'll very weakly attempt to latch and flail and feed on this vagrant.
Do you want to roll me 2 dice, since you are a vampire?
A 4. And a 4.
In this game, you have 2 stats. You have heart, better at being a human, and teeth, better at being a vampire. When you are rolling for heart, you roll under the 1 number you have.
Okay.
If you're using teeth, you're rolling over your number.
Number is 2.
Yep. And you rolled,
A 4 and a 4.
which means... Oh, you rolled a 4 and a 4.
Yeah.
Which means that you get an endless night.
Ooh.
Your senses sharpen and your mind opens to the night around you. You may ask me 1 question about the night or anything else in particular, I believe.
Okay, so I've succeeded in...
You've absolutely succeeded. You automatically succeed in an endless night.
I automatically succeeded. I've drained all of the blood and various other things out of
You're
this
feeling
bit.
more yourself now.
I'm feeling better.
Is there more of yourself? Have you grown those bloody legs back yet?
No, but... Like,
Oh, you don't have legs?
no, I do have legs. I've just my legs weren't very usable because I haven't fed in a while. The problem is that they keep leaking. So I have drained them of all the blood, but it is just continuing to pour out into the trousers. So
You're temporarily feeling a bit more perkier.
right, yeah, I'm up and about, and I get to ask 1 question of the narrator or like.
I realise I've actually gotten it wrong. It's when you rolled your number.
Oh, okay. Well, I was all.
Oh, we can edit that. All that can just
All that can be
excised then.
No, I do think you have to keep in the leaking like a cartoon cowboy that's been shot full of holes.
Where I was going to go there is I'm going to ask 1 question. You're like, oh, ask 1 question about the night, and be like, is it a good night?
Well, he's got a feeling that tonight's going
Going
to be a good
Good night.
night.
But no, I'll get up and I'll
Musical stinger, I guess.
Yeah.
Play us out, Sam.
Thaddeus, was it?
Yes.
I'll wetly pat you on the shoulder and say thank you. That hit the spot.
Okay, can you walk now?
Not well, but yes.
Okay, get up.
Thank you.
As this vagrant is being drained of his sweet life ichor, behind you, you hear a footstep and the flick of a switch knife. All right, Grandad. Nice night, isn't it?
It's lovely, isn't it?
Do you want him to continue further, or do you choose to engage vampirically with this mugger?
I'm just waiting to see what he has to say. Yes, lovely, isn't it? Halloween. Spooky season, isn't it? Yes, quite.
Yeah, and I'm wanting a trick or treat, Grandad. Takes a step towards you. He has a switchblade drawn.
He says, well, I think it's going to have to be trick. And a smile, revealing my canines, and lunge at him.
Roll me. You can roll 2, because I think doing vampire stuff, you always have vampire.
5 and 6.
You want to roll over.
Over, so I have.
Yeah.
So I'm just suddenly there on him, on his neck. There's no... I was standing a couple of foot away, and then I'm just suddenly on him and draining his blood as I'm holding his arm back, and he drops the switchblade, and I just drain him completely.
He thrashes and twitches as the colour slowly fades from his body to the crisp corpse white that you're so familiar with. as he spasms in your arms and under your teeth just one more time.
I drop him and then dab a little blood off my mouth with my pocket handkerchief.
It's always a very profitable venture going down Murder Alley. Is there any other witnesses, a third person to drain?
If you continue literally any amount of time Murder Alley, you're literally guaranteed to get mugged. If you take a few more steps, someone's going to...
If there's another vagrant, say, I'd like to approach them and stare into their eyes and maybe wobble my fingers around in front of them and be like, I think you'll find that you've just murdered these two men and you're feeling very guilty about it and are going to go and report that to the police.
Roll me. That's vampire, so roll over your number.
Both of them are over the number.
He goes, oh no. Oh no. On top of the murders I've already done. Oh no! He rises to his feet and totters towards the end of Murder Alley, where the police will be told that there's been a murder in Murder Alley, and that will get added to the long list of murders in Murder Alley.
There have been quite a lot. And
I used to think that Murder Alley was a bit of a problem, but now
it's very useful.
I can see that.
Actually, interestingly enough, it was named after John Murder. It's nothing, just coincidence that all the murders take place.
The inventor of first aid, actually, he was always very upset with
cruel irony.
The cruel irony.
Dr. Murder.
What a guy. There's more vagrants nearby if you want to just... They're asleep, they're slumped.
I've had something earlier tonight.
Someone.
Yeah.
Well, shall we press on?
Yes.
You exit to the Pine Nut Alley.
Before we go, I'll take the knife that you were being threatened with.
Fantastic. I'm sure that a little switchblade will really enhance your deadly vampiric powers.
I collect things.
Do you not have a cavalry saber?
I didn't take it with me. It's a bit conspicuous.
Yes, to the man dressed like all the fashions at once.
Yeah, I've got 70s bell bottoms on and biker boots and a woolen cardigan.
Very snug.
I can't see what it looks like in the mirror, you see.
So.
Tragedy of our times. Pine Nut Alley is a misnomer. It's actually a park. It used to be an alley. It was bulldozed. And the consortium is this gorgeous round building right at its centre. Imagine the Albert Hall, but it's more Louisiana. There's always the sound of soft jazz. Out the door, you can see a man with a black sheet over his head, just standing and waiting.
I walk up the steps. Good evening.
My master expects you.
Yes, I expected that.
He expected that also, and he pushes the door open.
I think this probably counts as being invited in, so...
You are being explicitly invited in by my master. I'm going to get as much mileage out of this voice as I possibly can.
Percy just marches straight in.
I'll follow.
I'll stumble in the door.
Inside the auditorium, it's completely empty, which is strange. There is a man sitting in one of the chairs. You recognise it. He's the mayor.
What's his name?
Charlie Kelly. Good old CK. The most corrupt man this city's ever produced, which is an Olympic sport at this point.
Have I met him before?
At a function, probably. Not in a sort of he turned up to cut a ribbon, maybe shake a few hands, take a few bribes, left.
What ho, my dude?
Well, Mayor Kelly, this is a pleasant surprise. How can we be of service this fine evening?
He takes the obligatory cigar out of his mouth and says, I'll tell you what, see.
Is he a gangster vampire?
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
Outlived the 30s.
And also has a thrall at the door, quite clearly.
He says, me and a business partner of mine are up the creek without a paddle, you might say. Mm-hmm. One of your kind, and he points sort of a discriminating finger roughly at Percy, has caused me no end of trouble, and I want it sorted.
I see, but surely a man with your resources shouldn't have to resort to sinister invitations in the evening.
I'm the corrupt mayor of an American city. That's more or less my entire job. And it's a re-election year, which means that I'm too busy going to dinners and sleeping with secretaries to bother with other sorts of things like this. Also, my goons have gone on strike. It's the most powerfully organised labour union in America is the Federated...
No, you don't cross the Goonion.
No, he goes, no.
The Goonion, as it were.
Well, I guess that explains to me why you have bothered getting in contact with us to deal with whatever this problem is. But it does raise the further question of if you don't have any goons to protect you, why shouldn't I just kill you right here, human man?
you hear a voice from the stage which says,
That would be because of me.
slouching onto the stage is a figure you all recognise. Well, okay, Bert might not recognise, because even though Bert has been a vampire for a month, I don't know how much information Bert...
It's been a delirious month.
We are terrible teachers.
Yeah, well, he's not a great student, really. Like, you can only work with the materials you've got.
I have been on the floor for the last, 2 weeks.
Of the 2 months.
Of the 2 months you've been a
Since
vampire.
vampire.
Just
So
hissing.
who is on the stage then?
An amalgamation shambles onto the stage. The ancient vampire, the Graf von Rachner. He is ancient beyond all reckoning, this you know. His body is withered with purple skin, wrapped in tattered evening wear appropriate several centuries ago. He has a dark widow's peak that clings to a shriveled skull. There's no longer enough blood to be found to animate him, because he's too old and too powerful. So he has 5 thralls attending him. One moves each of his arms and legs, and the last helps manipulate his mouth.
He's so powerful, he needs people to eat him.
He controls them. Those thralls are mere extensions of his mighty mind.
That does seem gloriously decadent and opulent.
Ah, Graf! So good to see you again. Always a pleasure.
Little fletchling. 4 little fletchlings. 3 little fletchlings.
Hello.
Mayor Kelly says, Now the Graf and I, we've got a few little dealing going on. More or less, I've sold him several graveyards, and I don't know what he's doing with the bodies, but he's doing whatever he's doing with the bodies. In return, he's sent me a little bit of hired help to break with the goon strike. He said that you were the only other 3 vampires he could think of. Well, he said the 2 vampires. I don't know who or what you are.
I'm a potato.
He's not
Marvellous. Oh, thank you for the clarification, sir.
He's about as useful as one, but he's not a potato.
I'm certainly heavier than a potato. I would say I'm heavy as 3 potatoes.
You were saying, Mayor?
Yes, well, the Graf and I have come to a particular problem. See, we had a building that we wanted to demolish, and we had arranged for a little shakedown opportunity. We sent in a few people. This was obviously pre-Goon Strike. He sent in some of his men, dressed as some ghosts and goblins. We had an issue with what I can only describe as some meddling kids. And a Great Dane of theirs. They seem to travel this country, disproving things.
Percy starts to go pale. He knows exactly
Even
where this
more
is going.
pale.
Paler than he was.
Yeah. Now, with the aid of my authority, I can find you and track down this weird orange and red vehicle that they drive in. Some kind of hippie bus. I want them dealt with. I want them out the city. They seem to be experienced with whatever kind of monster kind you people all are, and the Graf assures me that you'll either get it done or you'll die in the attempt. I don't care which way, as long as it's all dealt with in the end. Okay, I'm bored with you now. And he claps his hands. Bye.
Bye.
Please take whatever that is with you. It stinks, and I don't like looking at it.
They don't wash me.
You can wash yourself.
I couldn't walk. You just let me slime around the floor.
Yeah, to clarify, Mayor, you're wanting us to take care, and he holds up his fingers in inverted commas, you want us to take care of these meddling kids.
No, I want you to kill them.
Well, that shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, that's a bit easy enough.
If I wanted you to take care of them, I'd send for hospitality. I don't understand. Oh, you're trying to do a euphemism thing. I've got an almighty vampire here with me. I don't think the euphemisms kind of cut it.
No. Well, let's press on, shall we, boys?
I suppose. Where is it we're going?
They were last seen at the old Jameson place, which should be a set of luxury condos by now. And if they're not there, they'll be the old abandoned water park.
Old abandoned water park, eh?
Yes, we are inland. That's why it's abandoned.
And I do need a bath. So this is all coming together.
Well, I'll do it for you, Graf. How about that?
Always a pleasure.
As you leave, an attendant just turns the Graf's head to watch you.
1 little fledgling. 2 little fledglings. 3 little fledglings.
I hate it when he does that.
He can talk normally.
I don't know about you chaps, but I find the graph utterly insufferable.
I know.
It seemed nice.
No, you're new to this.
I am new to this.
You're old and decrepit beyond your time because you simply don't take care of yourself and drink enough blood.
Yeah.
He is doing it entirely as a flex, as the children are saying these days.
As a flex.
Yeah. He's wanting to make you violently aware of how many millennia years older he is than we are.
It just seemed convenient, you know. Can I get some of those people to be my legs?
Yeah, just hypnotise them.
Okay.
It's easy enough.
Can we pop by someone and see if we can...
Well, let's find out where the old Jameson place is, first of all.
Do we know where that is?
Yeah, you know what that is. Two of you have lived in this city for centuries. The other one, I've got no idea how much interest. I assume that he was on some kind of business trip. He was travelling through. I don't know what your origin story is, but I imagine you're not even from here.
Can you remember?
No, it's all a bit of a blur. It might be on holiday or... New Orleans is just very new. Didn't realise...
You were here for Mardi Gras and you just got carried away. And I don't know if that timeline syncs up correctly with the Halloween bit.
yeah.
I mean, it's been some time since he returned. So
It's been a month, so we're locking it in. That has to be how it works in this world.
Mardi Gras is now 1 month before October 31st.
Yeah.
Well, this is also in New Orleans with New York-style skyscrapers.
I'm saying it's been a month. I think it's been a month. It could have been longer, I guess.
He was actually on the floor for 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really paid attention to the passing of time in... Well, I don't know how long. That's really the point.
Percy was occupied in his attic and he just came it down one evening and Bert was just there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know what he does in that attic, and it's too dark, honestly, actually, for the podcast. We might reveal it at the end, but I certainly think it's a bit messed up.
Okay.
Well, if the omniscient narrator thinks so, then...
Yeah.
Right, where can one buy an atlas at this time of night?
This time of night?
Yeah.
It's a city that never sleeps.
Well, it's the town that occasionally naps.
Perhaps we could ask directions?
Well, we know where it is.
We know where it is.
Oh, do we? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't. Well, lead on.
Do we walk to the old Jameson house? Do we get the tree?
I was going to fly, but you don't know how to.
No.
So
Now's as good a time as any to teach.
find maybe a quiet parking lot or somewhere like that in which to impart my vampiric wisdom to Bert.
Okay.
So
Do they still do trolleys?
Like Chicago-style trolleys.
Yeah.
I don't know if New Orleans ever had those. But no, they did them about a century ago.
Okay.
okay, so you want to think about squishing yourself up really, really small and you go, bat!
Okay. Bat!
Roll vampire. You may roll 3 dice because you have assistance.
1, 5.
Victory from the jaws of defeat, blooming out.
If one dice succeeds, you barely manage.
Can I transform into an approximation of a bat that is more has a goose head and little flippery bits?
Yeah, this is a goose. You're just describing in part a goose. Is this a bat with a goose head with also goose wings, goose feet?
Yeah, but it's in a bat shape. You look at it and it's upsettingly a bat. It's all the bits of a goose, but in the silhouette of a bat.
It is a goose that is perfectly moulded as if by an ungodly hand into the form of a bat. It's not nice to look at.
Percy strokes his chin. Near enough.
It's blind and doesn't have sewing on it.
Yep, you're going to have to just steer navigate this creature.
Just keep talking, I'll follow you.
Do I need to roll to turn into a bat, or is it something that I'm fairly...
I'm willing to let the pair of you be able to turn into bats.
Okay.
Given that evidently you understand how being a vampire works.
I'll turn into a bat and follow Percy because Percy knows where we're going, and all the way I'll just go so that Bert can follow us.
And I'll honk back at you.
Spectacular radio. I'm sure the listeners will really appreciate you doing the high-pitched noise.
I turn into one of those big-ass fruit bats.
Oh, yeah. With the fox nose.
Yeah, one of the really, really big ones.
The ones you see hanging in caves.
About 3 foot long. I'm really creepy looking. Creepier than they look.
Creepier than the goose.
No, probably not creepier than the goose, I'll give you that.
Oh, you're creepier than a normal fruit
Creepier than
bat.
a normal fruit bat. Not as creepier as the goose abomination.
The old Jameson place was once, I don't want to say a distillery, because that's legally distinct, but it was a chemical productions place halved with a mansion. It was old Jameson used to manufacture tinctures and ointments and whatnot, and his house is.
I remember it well.
Yes, it's a warren of Gothic old-timey architecture. It's built upon this little hillock. It's one of the few bits of actual grass in the city. We see this haunting, primal, fear-inducing bat flutter down from the skies, the size of a kite or almost like an albatross, followed by a regular bat that's screaming, and a really upsetting goose.
I'd like to smash directly into the window.
I don't think I need to make you roll for that. I think it's a solid thud.
I think I'd probably prefer to land on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Percy's going to do a couple of circuits of the house first in the air to sort of check out the lie of the land first.
There is the front gate is cordoned off and there are police cars outside. You don't see this orange and red curiosity contraption anywhere.
Is anybody else transformed back?
I will...
I'm going to land on the roof and transform back into my human form.
I'll just land beside you, fairly dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit of
Ostentatious.
there's got to be a bit of theatre or else what's the point in doing it?
Well, I like to imagine your wings, sort of like the outline of you flares up and the wings flutter out in what would become a perfect cape if you were wearing a cape. Instead, they sort of dissipate and you're just the little man dressed in a tweed suit.
Yep.
Hello, Percy.
Where's the other one?
Oh, I think he hit a wall.
A window.
A window.
So he's going to have to go from the window to the wall. Nope, no.
Did the mayor not say something about how the whole reason for all of this is because he wants to clear this building?
Yes.
So he wants it to not be here, basically, and there's something preventing that. In addition to finding and killing these people that he wants killed, could we not just burn the house down from here?
Don't look at me, I'm not a vampire.
Bear in mind, it's all one to us, the mayor's property dealings, whether the place gets burnt down or not. Our mission is to eliminate these pesky kids.
Yes, I'm just assuming they're probably inside.
Well, possibly. But did you notice the human police outside?
Yes, I did. They're flashing lights.
My feeling is that they're probably best avoided.
Well, okay.
I'll continue to bleed out.
I will crawl down the outside wall, keeping to the shadows like Spider-Man, because Dracula did that once.
Popular Dracula style. Yep, like a lizard.
I'll have a look through the windows and see if I can spot anything.
I want you to roll me 2d6,
Okay.
and I want you to try and get heart.
One of them succeeded.
Oh, excellent. Okay, it's plus success. You see a figure in white at the end of a... So you're looking down the room you're looking into, the door is open, and then there's a long corridor, and you see a glimmer of a single figure in white look at you, and then vanish.
Just vanished.
Just
gone.
vanish.
Can we actually enter this house uninvited?
It's abandoned.
Bert already has.
Also,
true.
given that the mayor has asked you to go in, I would say that counts as an invitation.
Excellent, excellent. Can I turn into smoke? Is that the thing I
Yep.
can do?
If you can conceive of a proper vampire power that you can find in a piece of media, I will let you do it.
I'm going to turn into a big wisp of smoke and I'm just going to whoosh down the chimney into the house.
You appear in... Roll me a dice, let's make this a little bit random. I have an idea, 2 ideas.
3.
You come out in the fireplace of an old servant's room. It's in pretty bad repair. If Bert was a building, it would be the old Jameson place. When old man Jameson died, they say his fortune was buried somewhere in the house, but he was taken outside by an angry mob and ripped apart. So, no one
Do I know why?
It takes a lot in pre-revolutionary or pre-Civil War Louisiana to be considered in violation of the Code Noir. Old man Jameson was in violation of the Code Noir. That meant he did untoward things to his slaves, based on a real story from Louisiana.
Okay.
So I'm not just riffing on that. The house has obviously been
I know this because I was there.
In the crowd, or
I was in the crowd. I may have dropped a few hints here and there. There might have been a little bit of incitement involved.
Picturing you just chewing on a Werther's original then just
Oh, I was old back then.
in your little jumper.
older than Werther's originals. I'll have you
Yeah.
know.
They were called Werther's novelties at the time.
Yeah.
It was actually just a big bag of taffy at that point.
Just molasses.
Molasses, yeah.
If the ghost was the only thing I saw, I'll go in through a window and find Percy. And I think there might be spirits about afoot.
Oh, I'm not surprised. An old place like this, these walls could talk, and a bang on a rotten piece of board.
Fist goes right through.
Yep.
Yep. If these walls could talk, they would say, ow.
I think Bert would have fallen over there somewhere. Hopefully he's not in one of the vats of acid.
Bert, old fellow, are you about?
Honk.
Follow that honk.
If you're following the honk, are you following the honk?
Yes, we'll follow the honk.
You find a sort of a goose carved divot in the floorboards next to the pile of. Have you turned back?
I am mid-transformation.
It's not nice to watch. It's not, but also it's not nice to hear.
Mid, bone breaking. I'd like to transform back and fail in transforming fully back, so I've got a beak.
Percy walks up to the window and looks out his back to this scene until it's finished.
I don't even know how you managed to get a beak in the first place. I've never heard of someone doing that.
It was my first try.
You've seen a bat before.
I've seen, yeah.
You know what a bat...
I'm dealing with a lot of trauma right now. I'm going through a lot. I'm a vampire, apparently. But said more with a beak kind of speech impediment.
The beak doesn't impair your speech, but when you open up your beak, there's definitely a little pair of fangs poking into
the fangs, but also just upsetting human teeth, both sets of flaps and.
I mean, is the only vampire thing that you had encountered before your transformation duckula?
No, that does ring a bell. I'm going to prove he's all wrong. I'm going to pick the bits of glass out of me as we go.
As well, Bert, you know what? It was a good first effort.
I flew tonight.
We flew, we're here. We're here, and that's the main thing. I think we should just concentrate on the task in hand.
Yes.
Murder.
Exactly.
Which is murder, yes.
I can do it. I know you don't believe in me, but I can do it. We murdered that vagrant.
Yes.
And God help
You did,
me.
you've done a good job of murdering the vagrant.
I know, and I'll prove to you that I can murder someone who moves under their own power and is of sane mind tonight.
Well, sane mind rarely comes into it, but
they can fight that.
So, we should maybe have a little look around?
yes, perhaps split up and look for clues.
No, we should stick together. That's the best thing. I don't want to... Firstly, I don't think Bert on his own is a good idea. I think you're...
It's been rough, living on your floor and leaking on your floor, but at least, I'm immortal now, and, we'll get there. But then that puppet vampire man was saying that we might die?
Oh, we're not invincible, certainly. There are things that can kill us.
Him, for example.
Yeah.
He could quite easily annihilate us with a mere thought, such as his power.
You know how, you've seen me hypnotise people?
Yes.
He could do that to us. He could make us do anything. Kind of
There was,
the top
there was an
guy.
embarrassing incident in 1945 where he hypnotised me and made me do a quite embarrassing dance.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
You've been through it.
Traumatising.
Okay, so you head out the side corridor, whatever, where Goosebert had crashed.
Yes.
Leads along to a long landing. There's stairs that spiral down. The landing is where you saw the figure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to keep looking around that way. There was a figure here that disappeared. I think it's a ghost. Ghosts are real, in case you didn't know that part.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
Well, goblins are real, apparently.
What makes you say that?
The mayor was talking about goblins.
I think someone was going to dress up as a goblin.
Yeah, but I just took from that goblins were...
Well, that's not to say goblins aren't real.
No.
Apparently vampires are real.
I'm ready to roll with anything at this stage, really.
Have you ever met a werewolf, Thaddeus?
No, never had the pleasure.
Oh, they're quite an uncouth bunch.
Maybe I have, and I wouldn't know it because it was the wrong time of the month, of course.
Indeed.
Did you not also say that the people here were investigating something? And we made rather a lot of noise when you entered the building, Bert. And
Did we?
Well, you did.
I don't have sonar.
But you do have ears, because you asked me to make noise for you to follow.
That's true.
So you could hear the noise that you made.
Yes. There was a lot of honking. And screaming. So yes.
The point being that maybe they're not here if they're not investigating the noise.
There's a good chance there's something here. There's police here, so there's clearly some sort of shenanigans are afoot.
I could go and kidnap one of the police and
I think-
hypnotise them into telling us what's going on.
Well, there's
Alright.
a lot of them.
I could go to the police, report myself missing.
I was going to say, have you seen yourself? But of course you've not.
No. I could go report myself to the police as a distraction. And they'll be like, oh, you're missing. And then they'll leave with me.
I think we should exhaust the possibilities in this house. I've got a feeling there's going to be a scene where we're running from something and we just repeatedly pass the same door.
Happens more than you'd think.
This house was designed by lazy animators. Have we pretty much exhausted this place, or
You've actually done nothing. You crashed into a window, said, "Shall we look for clues?" And then you guided Bert through what I can only describe as an experience of all 5 senses.
let's have a wee poke around and see what we can find.
So there's the stairs that go down, there's a door at the end of the hallway, and then there's one more door into what's a brass plaque that says dining room.
Dining room first, I think.
I mean, it's the most obvious door.
The place is thick with dust. There's patches that have clearly been walked through relatively recently. There are mirrors, floor to ceiling, which means nothing to any of you.
We're just seeing a floating potato sack.
Upsettingly short.
So there's nothing obvious in the dining room.
There's nothing obvious in the dining room. Obviously, there is signs that people have been here
Are there
relatively
paw
recently.
prints?
Yes, there's a set of paw prints.
Really large set of paws?
If it was a Dane, I would say a spectacular Dane.
Yeah, okay.
A really
A
whoppers.
larger than average Great Dane, yeah.
I'm feeling woozy.
Well, you'll just have to vampire up.
Okay. You want me to turn into a vampire bat again? Bat!
No.
Bat! How many dice do you want me to roll me?
1.
3.
So you succeed.
Because I have to roll over my vampireness, right? Or...
After roll over your vampire, you turn. Unfortunately, all that happens is that your head now flips into a bat head. So
okay.
the beak is gone, but your head is now just a big bat's head.
Okay, I'll start screaming.
It's an improvement.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there's footprints, let's follow the footprints.
There's a little door to the side. When you open it, there's a huge discarded sheet and like a Halloween mask, and then standing above it all is a figure in white.
Good evening.
You can see me.
Right, of course I should see you. Shush. What am I looking at then?
It's a lady. It's a black lady in like a nightgown, a night dress, and she's just staring at you, kind of agog that you can see her.
Oh yes, don't worry, we're dead as well. That's probably why.
Oh, the other 3 could see me, but they weren't very interested in me at all. I think they want to make me leave.
We're also not very interested in you, but we are interested in the other 3. Where are they?
I think they're going to the basement. I think they're going to burn the bodies.
Well, good. Sounds like they're already dead.
Oh, I see. Huh?
That's very cleanly.
I don't want to go. This is my home.
Well, tell you what, you stay here, we'll nip down to the basement and we'll see what's what, shall we?
Yes.
I don't think they'll like you very much. They've got things for monsters. But the man that was here, he wasn't a monster. He was just a person. He didn't know I was here. And they took the mask off him, and then the police got him. But then one of them drove away in their car, and the other 3 stayed here to... I think they're going to burn my body.
So how recently deceased are you?
About 300 years, I think.
Ah, I see.
When
Have we met before?
I think I recognise your face. You were there when they took the old man apart.
Quite the evening.
Yes, he killed me, I think about 50 years before then. I was one of the first. I was a serving girl here. But this is my home now. My home. I don't want to be burned.
Well, I tell you what, my dear, shall we nip downstairs and have a little chat with these gentlemen and see what they say to it?
Yes, I think that's the only course of action.
You hold fast there, my dear, and we'll be back up.
Where's the basement?
Traditionally at the bottom of the house.
Yeah.
And she sort of fades through the wall.
So
Goodbye.
Bert, the first thing you need to learn about ghosts is
Yeah.
that they tend to be incredibly tedious.
You seem nice.
Like, if you're going to die, do it properly.
Yeah.
Like you 3 did.
No, that's what I mean. At least do it with a bit of panache, you know what I'm saying?
A bit of theatre. I hear you.
Looks at Bert.
I didn't ask for this.
The dark gift. It should be considered a gift. It's something you should enjoy.
I can't stop leaking.
So I see.
Yeah, I don't know how you're doing that either.
Can you not just hold it in?
No.
Right, well, let's look generally downwards.
I think let's head to the basement, but I don't think we should go in all guns blazing.
No, well, perhaps we should summon some children of the night.
What sweet music they make.
Hmm.
Do you have this cult business of yours?
That, yes, would possibly help, but
Short notice.
I have killed most of them. I think there might still be one or two.
It's like bourbon biscuits, isn't it? You have just one or two, and then sooner or later the whole packet's gone.
Yeah.
I would demolish some bourbons right now.
Well, you are in Louisiana.
No, I'm more thinking of like sending out a call to the creatures of the night, and then 1d6 rounds later, a number of wolves will appear.
Well,
Is that a thing?
that's what Dracula can do, but, you know.
Dracula can do it, and there's also a rule about vampires.
Is it
in a different
actually-
role-playing game.
Is
It
it
is-
actually in? It's in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
Wait here while I summon my D6 wolves.
Oh, dear Mr. Harkin, D6 rounds, you'll be in much trouble. If you want to summon the children of the
Yep.
night, what sweet music they make, I will have you roll 1d6 unless you want to add a blood point to that.
Ooh, how many blood points do I have? Three. I'll add a blood point just to do it.
For the listeners at home, each player has 3 blood points that get refreshed at certain points, and they may be spent to increase the likelihood of them or their allies' actions succeeding.
Come to me, creatures. 2 4s,
That's 2 4s.
which is a success.
It is a proper success. There is a sudden stillness outside as many of the animals that were perched on the trees go silent, and you hear the scratching as rats begin to pour in underneath doors and what you imagine they've come up to the pipes. And,
Percy rubs his hands. Oh, I love it when you do this.
and a barn owl swoops in silently from a cracked ceiling light somewhere and lands on your shoulder.
I will turn to it and go, now, find my enemies and bring them to me.
It leaps immediately onto Bert's face. It starts just starts pecking at him.
Why owls? Why is it always owls?
It's so round and unassuming.
Symbols of death in Hispanic culture. And in your face, it appears.
I'll clear it away and go, no, not that one. There's other ones. Apparently they're in the basement, so you actually might not be the right one to lead this particular operation, Mr. Owl.
Oh, we get the rats on the
Yeah.
case.
The rats pour down the corridors each, and they start pressing at all the doors until a big globule of them sort of slips under one door in particular and vanishes out of sight.
Okay. We could turn into gas to take them by surprise, or...
Got a lot of owl wounds now.
We could simply break down the door and
We could
rush in.
Why don't we send Bert in first to see what's what?
Oh, great idea.
Yes, I can
We-
prove
we-
you wrong.
Yes. Bert, this is your moment to prove yourself.
Okay.
As a bearer of the dark gift. Between us, myself and Thaddeus, we take Bert by the shoulders and just basically launch him bodily through the door.
Unopened, just crashed
Oh no,
through.
I think we open it. We sort of open it and in you go, first thing.
I'll be screaming instead of bat, I'll be screaming, Bert! Bert!
Down the stairs is a large cavernous room, one end lit by the dim light of an incinerator. There are piles of earth as bodies are being dug out from the earthen floor. There are 3 people. A tall, blonde, fashionably dressed man, a shorter, red-headed woman who's even more fashionable, and a woman in a blue sweater and miniskirt with a pair of thick glasses. Yeah.
I'll then start spinning wildly at them.
Gitbit is not available for this podcast.
No, but like
you
with
must
my,
choose.
with my vampire hands and just screaming, Bert! Bert! And like advancing on them.
They all look up because you've made no attempt to stealth or whatever. The woman with glasses goes, "Yippers!"
I'll attempt to vampire at them.
Okay.
It's a vampire.
I will need you to roll 1d6.
6.
6? Oh, excellent. Is there a particular one you're leaping at?
The tallest man.
The tallest man, the only man.
Yeah.
You lunge at him. You hear the red-headed woman go, "Philippe!" as he crashes to the ground. When you reach out to bite him, something burns your mouth. He has a crucifix around his neck.
Okay. Does my beak protect me?
You don't have a beak anymore. You have a vampire bat
Vampire
head.
head. Well, I'll just continue at it because I'm inexperienced. So maybe this is just what blonde men taste like.
Tastes like pain.
I don't know. It's been a month. You've taught me nothing.
I've been
Taught
trying.
you the bat thing.
That's true. That's true.
Which was like 2 hours ago.
Upstairs, is there... So this is the dining room. Is there a kitchen connected?
No, the kitchen is downstairs on the level you are, across in the basement.
Is there like one of those dumb waiters that goes down to the basement?
Yes, I don't see why there wouldn't be.
Okay, I'm going to turn into smoke again and enter the basement through that means.
Okie dokie. How would Thaddeus like to?
I'll just go down the stairs and loom around the turn in them, and then I will take out some of my selection of knives and hold them stylishly between my fingers and my hand.
Very blade.
Yeah.
What are the rats doing while this is going on?
Well, I was just about to say, kill them, my children!
Alrighty, I'm going to need you to roll 1 dice of vampire.
Okay. That's 4, that's success.
Is there? So there's obviously one that's been pinned to the ground. There's Wilma and there's Darla.
I will direct the flow of vermin towards Wilma.
Wilma is knocked to the ground. Her glasses obviously go flying. Mm-hmm. Her glasses. She can't see without her glasses.
I mean, they might just be a fashion choice. We can't tell at this stage.
Wow, way to kick a woman when she's down. Listeners, no, we're all wearing glasses.
Are any of our glasses fashion choices?
No.
Let's
Genetic.
get that confirmed.
Astigmatism.
She screams as the rats start to pour over her.
And then I'll just go and fly at the remaining one.
Darla.
Yeah.
I was thinking I could actually reapparate behind her and just...
Where there's a ding as a seemingly empty dumbwaiter slides into view. Roll me some vampire.
That is a 3.
Ooh, you've rolled under. Do you want to use a blood point?
I think I better, yeah.
Look on then.
You get to roll again.
You roll another
Or is
dice.
it a reroll?
The functional difference between a reroll and rolling an extra dice is not very high. If you've just rolled one,
6.
that's as vampy as you can get. So, when you apparate behind her, she is caught off guard, but she is holding a fiercely pointed wooden stake. You may choose to engage her, but I'm now giving you the option to engage or not to engage.
I think I might remain in a gaseous form. I'm sort of whipping around her in the like in the money, the pushing dust thing. I'm doing that, but I'm not committing to a solid form at the moment.
Yeah, sensible. We'll slide back over to you. Mm-hmm. You can't bite this person, Philippe, on account of his crucifix.
Can I? So I'm on him.
Yep.
I would like to pick up 2 of the rats that are swarming around and that are biting me, like biting everywhere. Like they're all around. I'm getting hit, so I'll pick them up and just mash the rats into his face, creating like a thick paste of like a rat between me and like the crucifix.
A protective layer of rats.
Yeah, just mulching it into the screen. Bert, I can do this. I'll prove he's wrong.
I don't know quite what level of protection the crucifix grants, but
I think if there's a complete physical blockage of rat in between the crucifix and Bert, that should do the trick.
My question would be more, would it allow you to create the impact of the rat-based pastes that would require?
In that case, roll me 3d6 because it's using both Fool and your drive.
6. 2.
Oh, you've rolled Endless Night. So this super duper succeeds. You just create a paste of rodent between you. Because, right, even if it's not like a physical barrier thing, you have definitely unconsecrated whatever power this symbol holds. He is screaming. His white shirt is matted with an increasingly thick layer of still writhing rat. The pink and brown viscera coating him as plastered as board. I could have done anything else in my afternoon. I could have done literally anything else in my afternoon.
So I've succeeded in doing it.
You've super succeeded. So if you want to attack him and maul him, right now I will let you just do that as a free action.
Yeah, maul.
How do you go about doing this? How do you kill Philippe?
I just gingerly bat his head off.
I don't think you can gingerly bat something off. I think you need to commit to one of those 2 adverbs. Is it gingerly, or is it batting it off?
2-handed, like Shatner style, just batter his head off. Got like a batting motion, aiming into the furnace.
It dings off the door and lands in the furnace, where his hollow, empty gaze stares at you and his desecrated corpse until it catches fire and melts, giving him some measure of peace, which I, the narrator, will never know.
I'll get up and I'll be like, yes, I proved myself. Where's that owl bastard?
Good stuff, Bert.
Comes a voice.
I'm a vampire.
Go on, Thaddeus.
Okay, I have commanded the rats to attack Wilma.
Wilma, yes.
The one remaining, I will see is fending off Percy.
I'm whirling around her.
Because she's got a snake.
Steak, yeah.
She's got a steak.
Yeah, this is-
Well, I have a handful of knives, which I will throw very quickly at this human. Possibly through the boiling
me, that's
gas,
fine, that's
but
Yeah,
fine.
go for it.
You are gas.
Yeah, that's fine.
I will let you roll. Yeah, I'll let you roll 2 for that because I feel that's ruthless.
Cool. Yeah, those both succeed.
Fandabidozi.
Just like a fan of knives going.
And she is pierced in what I can only describe as the worst impromptu acupuncture you could possibly imagine. She lets out a little, oh, and her cold hands drop the stake.
I will now coagulate into my full-on form. As she falls, just grab her by the shoulders and just right into the neck.
She shudders and trembles, and her mouth struggles to form words, but there's no strength left in her. She dies in your arms and under your teeth. And all that's left is now is just Wilma screaming blind under an increasingly large pile of rats.
So, 2 options here, gents.
Mm-hmm.
You could let the rats eat her.
Yes.
That's always an option. I'm not taking that off the table. Or you could call off the rats and we could interrogate her.
Yeah, but,
Now,
I could be the bird.
no.
the bird cop.
Good cop, bird cop.
You're a very bird cop, in fairness. Back, my pretties.
They scream and hiss, but an unnatural space-clearing forms rolling off her body like a foul tide.
Now, Percy is charming. That's one of his styles. So he's going to turn on the charm here. My dear, are you all right?
I'm going to need you to roll 2 human. 2 human dice. That's under your score, which is
4.
4, yeah.
so that's 2. That's a complete success.
You seem to have had a mishap.
Oh, jeepers! My glasses, sir. And she grabs at your trouser ankle because she's lying prone. She's covered in cuts and bruises.
Percy takes a small step back and just crunch the glasses underfoot. Oh dear, I'm afraid they're quite broken.
Oh no, I'm blind without my glasses.
Don't worry, my dear. She picks her gently up. Says, now, my dear, what brought you to this mysterious old house in the middle of the night?
We in the Curiosity Club, we were looking, we solve problems. You know, it's always someone dressed as like a ghost or a goblin. Here, they were going to condemn this place and have it knocked down, but we knew it was one of the mayor's cronies, not a goon. They're on strike. Philippe, he felt some kind of weird presence, so he said we better come back and check after we'd sent Unkempt off to the abandoned water park. And we found these bodies and, well, we thought it'd be best if we just made sure that they could rest in peace. Are they okay? Are my friends okay?
I think they went back upstairs.
Philippe?
Do you want to join them?
Yes, can you take me to them? And she reaches out to grab your arm.
Are there other bodies beside the ones we've created lying about?
There are extremely desiccated corpses. This is where the ghost also came from.
See.
But there are 2 long pits that were dug to exhume these bodies in the ground.
My dear, I must ask you, you were exploring this house and you find these ancient bodies and your first thought was to burn them.
Yes, we think they were victims of Old Man Jameson. He was torn apart several centuries ago for the horrors he committed.
Yes.
And we thought it would be best to lay their spirits to rest.
I see, well.
It's a good thing the furnace was still working in this dilapidated Civil War era house.
I'm going to warm up my cold dead hands next to the furnace until they're roughly human temperature.
Do you want me to jump in as Burt Comp? Or?
Are you wanting to...
Well-
you need to get some practice in here.
Of interrogating.
No.
Because we could find out where the cocaine is right now.
And it didn't really came off as a cocaine type of group to me.
Clearly they're hiding something.
Anyway, after I've warmed up my hands on the fire, I'm going to tap her on the shoulder and be like, I'm sorry, dear, we're here to help. Just like to know, so your friends, was it just the 3 of you here, or?
No, there's our friend, well, his name's Melville, but we'll call him Unkempt because he's a little bit silly like that. And his dog, he took our car to the abandoned water park. It's where we solved our first little caper. Oh, my friend's okay. I can't hear them.
And I'll say to Percy, right? So they're at the water park for the rest?
Water park. So behind Wilma's back, Percy's like sort of making head nods sort of towards her at the other 2 vampires.
Okay. Okay, I'll like just... Well...
Well, if you're taking too long, I'll just like take her head and using my vampire strength smash it into a wall. Should I roll or
Roll me vampire. Roll me one vampire.
one vampire?
Actually, no, two, because it is ruthless.
I'm rolling over anyway, aren't I?
Yeah,
So
rolling over.
they're both success.
Talk me through this action. So at the moment, she's focusing on, to her, the blurry image of Percy.
So she's talking. I've got a hand on her shoulder. Okay, so we're done here, and then I'll just grab her by the neck, smash her straight into the furnace, which is metal, I'd imagine.
There is a horrible shriek of metal as it bends and folds.
Thaddeus, that was overkill.
Well, maybe so. Very good work there, though. I was impressed by that. Didn't even need to hypnotise her.
The stake and the crucifix, though, we need to be more prepared.
I do feel very sore and burned and stingy.
Yes.
Is that the rats? Is that owl poison?
I think that's what it is, yes, Bert.
Okay.
Well, the trick with the glasses, anyway. Top-notch stuff.
As you depart, the figure of the woman in white appears at the bottom of the staircase, and she leans over the body of Philippe and just spits on it. And then
Spectrally.
and then she's gone. The image is faded.
See. All in a night's service, ma'am.
I think they're going to demolish your house anyway.
Oh, don't tell her that. Oh yeah, I mean that house is still getting demolished anyway.
Yeah.
How do you make your egress from the old Jameson place?
I'll just gently open the door and I'll look outside. Are the cops still there?
Yeah, it's not like a huge crime scene investigation. There's a guy, his buddy's in the car. They've got some do not cross tape going up.
Hang on, so there was an additional guy who got murdered on top of the investigative gang being there looking at the old corpses?
They uncovered a ploy to make it appear that this house was haunted.
So
And
these
then
are
he's just like-
arresting. These are like lingering on arrest.
Yeah, just in that sort of like,
So the cops arrested Anne Guy,
who was dressed like a ghost.
as a ghost.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Percy,
That's fine.
you're saying that we could probably be better equipped for dealing with the remainder of this curiosity
Well, I
plot.
think this unkempt fellow, we've got to deal with him, and he's got a dog. Now,
I have an idea. I'm going to walk straight towards the police, and I'm going to walk right up to one of them, and I'm going to hypnotise him to say, "Give me your weapon."
Okay, I want you to roll 2 vampire.
Oh, 5. Success.
Okay, he unholsters his gun and hands it to you.
Okay, I shoot him and I shoot the other one.
I'm going to make you roll 2 human, because that is a human action.
Just be like, I haven't used one of these in 100
Yeah,
years.
Percy-
Save
Percy-
these, what's that?
Percy's just leaning in the balustrade watching this.
1 success.
1 success.
I take a shot. Like I take a hit. You're blasting away.
There's a ricochet. Ricochet just takes off Bert's ear.
Jesus.
Yeah, you get the first cop with the cop in the car, who has now seen you shoot his other cop, unholsters his weapon, and starts screaming, "Get down on the ground!" as he gets out of the car.
To be fair, I mean, you can probably take a few bullets.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not
Yeah.
gonna- It's not going to do anything to you.
I'll just fly at him and go and try and just wrestle his neck out and bite it.
1 vampire, because I can't keep giving you 2 vampire all the time for everything.
Success. Well, it's 2.
Oh,
which
it's
is
2,
my
which means
number.
you get to ask. Not only do you succeed, you get to ask. So he goes, "Ah!" and he gets murderized by this vampire.
I think you better explain that. Is this the endless night?
So
Yeah.
when you roll your exact number, you get the result, Endless Night. You get to ask me 1 question about either the city or the current night, and you get an honest answer. So as the lifeblood of this police officer falls into your mouth and fills you with an ancient kind of life, you gain 1 glimpse into the immediate present.
Okay. This isn't my question. What was the super vampire called?
That is the Graf von Rechner.
If we do this for the Graf von Rechner, will he try and betray us or kill us? If we do the mission, is he leading us into...
He won't betray you, no. Mayor's good as dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mayor is super duper dead.
Yeah.
What are we to do after? Are we to report back in?
Kill the teenagers and then tell them
Is,
that we're done, I
is the
guess.
mayor still going to be at the place?
Oh,
Yeah, I assume the mayor will still be at the place.
Just hangs about in an empty auditorium the whole night?
As far as
It's
I'm
corrupt.
as far as I'm concerned, we're not actually working for the mayor. I don't care about the mayor.
No,
We're
I
working
meant
for
the mayor. The mayor is the middleman in this,
Yeah.
really.
The mayor is on our asses.
He'll want your badge and your gun.
Our vampire badge.
So I'll take a couple of shots from the gun, finish up my midnight snack, and then I'll walk over with the 2 weapons, and I'll hand one of them to Percy and be like, There you go, you shouldn't need to get anywhere near them if you've got one of those.
Percy sort of holds it by the corner. Oh dear, such an inelegant weapon, but I guess needs must.
Do you want the other one, Bert?
I want an ear back. I want an ear. You shot me in the ear.
Okay, here you go. And I'll tear one off of the police officer and hand it to him.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll just kind of moosh it on and hold it there for a bit.
Would it vampirically attach?
I'm hoping.
You're opening new avenues to body horror that I'd never really personally considered before. I thought the weird leap that we'd made to bloody murder and the description of corpses going stiff was bad, but whatever you're doing is way worse.
It's like a mismatched ear. It's obviously too big or too small.
Yeah, different coloration.
This is my interpretation of vampires. I think if you keep up your diet of blood, all of your missing ears and leaking legs and whatever else should heal up by themselves rather quickly.
I'd hope. It's been a month.
If you want to attach that ear, maybe if you applied some blood to the bit you're putting the ear onto, maybe it would glue on and it would graft the ear.
I'll look out for some blood.
There's plenty here.
I'll keep an eye.
Right. Well, are we going to bat our way over to the...
Well, we could try and operate one of these contraptions, but I've never have.
I'm going to call an Uber.
A what?
An Uber.
A what?
An Uber.
What's an Uber?
It's an Uber. It's a man. He's going to come in one of these. He's going to... Well, I say man. It's a person. He'll pick us up.
Right, and we
Like a hansom cab.
Exactly. Whatever that is. And he'll take us to the old abandoned water park, wherever it is we need to go. I would bat, but it was terrifying because it was blind and honking and leaking. And I do feel quite woozy now after the spinning. So I'm going to get an Uber.
Very well, Bert. Summon us an Uber.
You may roll 2 human.
I rolled a 1
Oh.
and a 4.
Yeah, you summon an Uber. Guy turns up and takes one look at you and drives away.
Shoot him! Shoot him!
No.
I should also like to clarify actually that I've done the rules for blood points wrong. You can add for a friend's roll, not your own. So if anyone wants to, zhuzh up his human roll to get that Uber to stay.
Well, I've used a blood point.
I did think that I should probably have suggested that we don't call the Uber to the actual murder site. Maybe I'll use a blood point for that.
Tell you what, how far is it?
It's about 20 miles because it's the other side of the city.
Right, okay, it's not really walking distance then.
It would be quite a long
Do we
flight.
have vampiric speed?
You might.
I'm thinking maybe like 2/3 of us have vampiric speed.
Okay, I'll assume the position again for you.
I'm really enjoying the self-imposed nerf on the otherwise unrestricted field of vampire lore by having a guy who's just not good at it.
I am role-playing, sir!
It's good for me.
Yeah.
So what is the position? Describe it for...
being carried like a shopping bag.
Yeah.
You sure you can't just bat? It'll make life easier for us.
I might vom everywhere. Bat vom or goose vom. Just everywhere. Just throughout the entire streets.
Okay.
Bert, I've got to say, I've been a vampire for hundreds and hundreds of years, right? And, I don't like to be critical too much, but really, I've got to say, I don't feel you're cut out for this.
Well, hearing that would hurt, but I'm only half hearing you because I've only got one ear now.
I know.
I gave you the other ear.
The owl poison coursing through my veins right now.
I don't think that's how that works.
The rat wounds. I'm trying I killed that blonde man for you. I'm trying to prove myself.
You did, in fairness.
You did well, but this night has been a catalogue of errors. From start to finish. What I'm saying is, right, Bert,
Yeah.
you really need to buck up your ideas, young man.
You're just never satisfied.
I see myself as, for better or worse, some sort of father figure here to you, to the younger vampires.
For a month or more, you've allowed me to crawl around your floors.
I have.
Leaking.
I have.
And, unbathed, unwashed.
Yes.
Undirected, really.
Yes. And,
desiccating like a coconut.
Exactly.
Most young vampires don't really need much direction to be told to go and hunt man and...
We all go through these phases. I once spent 30 years buried under an oak tree in the Bavarian forest. But, I got over it.
I take on what you're saying. Maybe I'll just walk there. I'll just walk the 20 miles.
No, yes,
I'll just walk out into the night and I'll use my superior vampire senses.
We can do it faster, right? You don't want to transform into a flying creature.
Mhm.
How about this? And I'll transform into a wolf.
Okay.
I will ask you to roll vampire.
5, that's a success.
You don't turn into a wolf per se, but you do take the form of, because it's a singular success, you take the form of an urban fox.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Okay, so you're saying
No.
bipedal.
Quadrupedal.
You
I'm
have
rolling the dice! 5.
That is a partial success.
Can I lend a blood point?
You
to
may.
this? My somewhat inspiring speech will hopefully have got Bert to buck up his ideas a
in
bit.
my image, there is like a hand on Bert's shoulder with a grip that is increasing with every
I'm
word
going
you're
to
saying.
Vice-like.
I'm going to take on what you said, and I'm going to try my absolute best to become a quadrupedal creature of the night.
You've rolled one success, and he's given you a blood point to roll one more dice.
One more dice.
One more die, rather.
2.
So that's a failure for you, right?
No,
two-
it's-
two-
that's your
two.
number.
That's my vampire number.
Yeah.
So,
But I'd like to become quadrupedal, mismatched, section of limbs, but a gibbering mass of like a human arm and like a dog leg, but again in the shape of a quadrupedal beast thing with a goose face.
here's how I'm going to spin it. One, I think it doesn't actually require you to do any failure in your transformation to become a gibbering mess. I feel that's a very core to the essence of who Bert is. 2, you form... The creature that you become can best be described as part urban coyote, part person, part more or less something you'd find in a vivisectionist's... it's like a special project. Mm-hmm. Your arms and legs are human legs, but they terminate in paws, and your body is that of a canid. And for some reason, maybe... Bert's ashamed to admit this. You did really try. You sincerely tried.
I did try.
And in your efforts, you have tapped in to a little part of what it means to be a true vampire. You may ask me one question, and for the love of God, this is radio. Make it a good one.
Ideally not goose related.
No.
There is no goose part about your anatomy.
Okay, so
Geese are not even of the night.
are owls poisonous? Are owls poisonous?
Honest answer.
Owls are poisonous, yes, but not venomous. You do not ingest an owl, and therefore you are not suffering the effects of owl toxin. Also, listeners, they're not poisonous unless you don't cook them properly.
But you've told me that they are. So
They are, but you didn't ingest it.
I didn't ingest it, so I know that. This knowledge of the night pulses into me. I'll sit there as this gibbering mass of human coyote flesh, just incredibly smugly. I'll be like, I did that hard thing, and I was right about the oils.
And what form does Percy take?
Percy just says, "Oh, bugger this," and turns into a bat.
Okay, let's run to the water park.
Dun, 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 dun. You're at the water park. The water park has slides and flumes, all derelict and abandoned. There's no water, especially no running water, luckily, in this park. And there is a Volkswagen kind of van. It's red with orange flowers all over it. It's parked. The back door is flung wide open. You can see that the gate to the water park has been torn open.
First order of business, go into the water park.
No. First order of business, you guys wait here. I will fly over the water park, first of all, to see if I see anything.
Very well.
Good. I want you to roll me... I'm going to say you get your 2 bat. Oh, 2 vampire.
Roll bat.
Roll bat. That's a 1 and a 6. So that is a guaranteed success and it's a mixed success. You make out the rough outline of a young man, and you don't get any information before you have to duck from a crossbow bolt that zips past your ear.
With more than undue haste, I zip back to the entrance and I transform back into vampire form. I say, well, he's got a crossbow. Got a crossbow, lads.
A crossbow in this day and age.
It's almost like these people were prepared for vampire involvement.
Yes, vampire hunters, clearly. of
Vampire
some
hunters,
kind.
yes.
I'll transform back from my quadrupedal form. Hi.
I take a look at the gate. Does it look like it's been torn open by some large ferocious creature?
No, it looks like it's been torn open by like a crowbar.
Right, okay.
Don't you ever try to anticipate what I'm going to pull at you ever again.
I have a feeling at the back of my head.
No. We're going to leave it there. We can park
What
that there.
if we'd done the water park first?
Well, maybe so.
If you'd done the water park first, it would have been the other three, and then they would have...
I'll be a vampire if I haven't transformed back already.
Mhm.
And then I'll be like, well, the first thing to do is make sure they can't get away. And I'll take out one of my many knives, and I will stab all of the tyres of the heavy van.
There's a subtle...
Let's face it, guys, it's not going to be them getting away. It's going to be us legging it from this monster creature. Right, anyway.
I'll have a look in the van. Is there anything in the van?
There's several discarded packs of dog biscuits.
And is there any dog biscuits left?
No.
Okay. I'll kind of sniff at them and be sad. We could phone the police. Because there's been a break-in here.
You may also
and he's
recall...
armed and he's taking shots.
You may also recall that there has also been... The police might be busy because there was a double police murder not 10 minutes ago.
20 miles away.
Yeah.
But we could be like...
How fast did we go?
However fast...
20 miles in 10 minutes. Like...
That's pretty nippy.
Where did you see the target of our...
Was he just in the middle of the park?
He was-
More or less? I didn't get a particularly good look at him.
He was on a raised platform where there would be water slides.
Right.
Surrounded on all... So it's in the middle of like a complex. There would have been a pool, water slides, and then there's a big... Wet Willie's Wild Wondrous Ride goes around the outside. Ride is spelled also with a W in front of it.
It's going to be a nightmare getting to him with all this running water everywhere.
There's no running water. It's just decommissioned.
Oh, is this decommissioned? Okay.
It's the
dilapidated.
It's the abandoned water park.
See, if it was running water, I would just call it a night. At that point.
Crossbow and running
Crossbow
water.
and running
No.
water.
Just call up the graph like, yeah, no, sorry, pal.
Sorry, Graf, you didn't tell us about the running water.
I've been taken in by you. You're my family. I'm very happy to have met you. And or really upset that this has happened to me and this is my life now. But I've been learning from you tonight. And you turned into gas earlier.
Yes.
You were gas.
That's right, that's a thing that we can do.
Right.
Would you like me to show you how to turn into gas?
Yes.
Into smoke?
Yeah,
Into vampiric smoke?
To decongeal.
Technically, if you do this, you regain your blood points because you are helping him with his ambition.
You have to focus deeply on every molecule of your body
Right.
and imagine it spreading apart, and you have to imagine the inner winter cold that runs through you.
The inner winter. I do feel quite cold all the time
It's
now.
a bit nippy now, yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's night time.
It's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
Yeah. I'll roll dice for that. I'm going to imagine the inner winter cold.
Do I roll?
I'm going to say he gets 2 die, and you get to regain your blood points.
A 6 and a 1.
Partial success
Partial
is
success.
turning into a cloud of gas.
So what happens is you feel a ripple throughout your body, and it starts at your legs, almost like a tingling feeling as your molecules slowly start untangling from each other. But as it reaches up to your waist, there's an icy feeling of fear. It's terrifying, disincorporating like this. It's not something the human brain is designed to handle, and it freezes like that. The bottom half of you is now a cloud of mist. You're still upright. You're occupying the exact same height you used to, but you cannot reincorporate your legs, and you cannot discorporate the rest of your body.
Okay.
Alternate joke. He transforms into a cloud of gas in the exact shape of a goose.
Let's not.
Let's
No.
So, can I fly, or is it like I'm just like walking around?
just walking around.
Okay. This is better and worse because now I'm not leaking from my legs as much as I can tell.
Well,
the gas sort of.
In a very
wafting.
real way, you are leaking more from your legs now than you ever have been.
Yeah, but like I'm sustaining it,
Mm-hmm.
so that was good.
That was a very good start, Bert.
Mhm.
That
Thank
was
you.
a promising beginning. Unfortunately, you're still not crossbow proof.
No, well that's what I was thinking. We could become crossbow proof and then go suffocate him.
Maybe I should just do that.
Yeah, I might just sit in the van.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Okay, well, enjoy.
I'll put the radio on.
You're just sitting there, half gas.
Gas.
You're listening to 109 Spooky Tunes. Coming up next, Rob Zombie's Dracula.
Oh, that would be good. Monster Mash. as
When's
well.
this set?
At a time when Rob Zombie has released the song Dracula,
Well,
but
you know,
not like
Halloween. They play classics. you know.
Yes, but it wouldn't be a classic if it's the 80s.
I seem to recall you mentioning it was the 80s at one point.
Oh, fine, it's playing the Monster Mash and nothing but the Monster Mash. Lots of 1930s favourites, including the Monster Mash.
It's
The
the
Ma-
80s,
I think
but it's a version of the 80s where they had Uber.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
That's a good point, yeah. But they had phones in the 80s.
Yeah, but like I pulled out my phone.
Maybe you just phoned for a taxi?
Yeah, I should have said taxi, but anyway, whatever they're playing, I'm just going to be bopping along to it with my like, gassy legs.
Right, I'm not going to turn to gas just yet, but I'm going to blend with the shadows in a vampiric way, and I'm going to very silently. I've not turned invisible, but I'm as good as invisible. I'm going to slink through the shadows of this amusement park. Care to join me, Thaddeus?
Yes, I'll slink along.
Okie dokie. The light of the moon is completely obscured by the full cloud overhead, but that doesn't matter to either of you. Your eyes are more tuned to the night than any humans could ever be to the day.
Is it a full moon?
Well, it's Halloween, yeah, it's super duper spooky season.
It's Halloween, it's always the full moon of Halloween.
Yeah.
I'm sure that won't be relevant. I won't come into that at all.
You try your best, you slave for hours over a hot stove to make plot points.
Okay, we continue the slinkage.
Yeah, you continue the slinkage. You see, again, surrounded by Wet Willie's Wonderful Wild Ride, it's like, I guess it's like on a gantry, I suppose. Health and safety wasn't really invented when they were building these sort of things, and you can see the huddled figure. There seems to be some sort of like a control network, like also snaking up this, but you can see the glimmer of the crossbow.
A control network?
Yeah, like, you know, like how if you had like the lifeguards and you had like that one board team whose job is like operate like, oh, emergency start, like, oh, someone is stuck in the water flume, like, oh, push this button.
He's next to the controls.
He's next to some controls, yeah.
Can we communicate with each other telepathically?
Well, here's the thing. I imagine you two can communicate with Bert telepathically. I don't imagine that you guys voluntarily tune into whatever Bert's psychic radio channel is.
Either using psychic powers or in some other non-verbal way.
We have been talking a while back previously.
I indicate to Thaddeus, old chap, this seems incredibly dodgy.
Yeah, he's definitely ready for an attack, which the other
Ready
three
for
weren't.
attack. The other thing is that there was talk of a dog, which I don't see, which makes it worse.
No, there were paw prints in the house as
There were
well.
paw prints. I'm not seeing a dog. Dogs famously don't have a good relationship with vampires either.
No.
Wolves do though.
Wolves are spot on. Wolves are our pals. Dogs not so much.
I could try and use this contraption that we took from the police officers and shoot him. I could simply go out and create a distraction and you could sneak up on him.
Can I, the knight, ask Thaddeus how old he is that a gun is a contraption, given that guns have been around for like 600 years?
Guns are contraptions, though.
A thingamajig.
Exactly. A gizmo.
I mean, Percy's familiar with the principles of a gun. He's just not familiar with modern ones. You know, like he's more into like
You got the ramrods.
muskets. Yeah.
Well, that's a shame because I was hoping that your higher humanities score would mean that you're a better...
I'm not a bad shot. Can probably work something. Mm-hmm. Well, are we going to try to snipe him just from the ground here? I mean, we have guns. He'll not be expecting us to just straight up shoot him. He'll be expecting some vampiric trickery.
He definitely is because he was just shooting at bats earlier and he had no reason to believe that that wasn't just a bat.
Pretty substantial bat, but...
Well, in fairness, yes.
The fact that he took a pot shot at a bat makes me think that he's expecting something. Now, we're led to believe that they uncover tricksters and fraudulent, people dressing up as monsters and something. But they also seemed kitted out to deal with actual vampires.
Indeed, yes.
Which was concerning. So, we have a couple of options on the table. An all-out vampiric type assault.
Mm-hmm. Which is what I generally favour.
A tried and tested technique. It works in most occasions, but, I think we should hold our fire on this one. Literally hold fire. Then we could try and snipe at him using our human guns. Option 3, I could just go into Lost Old Man.
Yeah, so you could make it appear
that I'm a lost old man. I could try and charm my way, even if I don't necessarily succeed in getting any information or getting close to him. We can maybe at least still find out more information about what his capabilities are. On the flip side, though, if that goes wrong, he's then 100% aware of our presence here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's maybe the best idea so far. You tend to be quite good at convincing the living that you are one of them. So you go and create the distraction. I will take advantage of his distraction and murder him.
So just do 0 stealth, just walk out, dum-da-dum-da-dum, and then just initiate a conversation with him.
And I'll move along like the tree line or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could creep up and then pick your moment.
Yeah.
Okay, that's go time.
Seems reasonable. Percy takes maybe 10 or 15 seconds to sort of get himself into a more human headspace, and it's almost like it's not a transformation, nothing changes about him, but just his whole demeanour alters. He's slightly more hunched over, he doesn't walk with the same amount of purpose anymore.
It's when you see actors play both Clark Kent and Superman.
It's exactly that.
That transfer from one to t'other. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I said he had an umbrella, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So he's using an umbrella a little bit like a cane. It's not like he has to rely on it, but you can tell he's using it as a little bit of extra propulsion, like an older gentleman. And he just walks along, not as if he's walking directly to where the young man is, but he's just walking past.
I want you to roll me 1 human.
3.
That means it's a success.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
There's a flyer of activity at the top, and you see this figure and the gleam of the crossbow bolt as he stands up and shouts down at you like, "Hey man, you can't be in here!"
Oh!
In my legally distinct voice.
Ah! Hello there, young man. I didn't see you there for a second.
Like, dude, you can't be in here. It's not safe.
Oh, I've been coming here for many, many years. This place brings back so many happy memories for me as a young man. I used to... Why, I met my dear Rosalie here.
That's really cool and all, man, but, like, I think it's kind of weird that you take daily walks in the abandoned amusement park on Halloween night.
It's not Halloween. I come here every night.
Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the tower thing that he's standing on, like Spider-Man crawling up the side of the tower and stealthily.
Okie dokie. He says, "Anyway, dude, you're gonna have to go. There's bad things about to happen."
But, young man, what brings you here at this time of night? And with are you hunting for bears or something?
Something way more dangerous than bears, man.
Oh, I don't understand. Perhaps you could clarify for me.
Oh, you wouldn't believe me if I told you, dude. The number of weird fakes that we've uncovered, but there's the real thing out there, man. They live amongst us. They eat people, man.
Why don't you tell me more about it? I'm going to attempt to hypnotise him.
Roll me 2 vampire, because you are charming.
Now, why don't you just calm yourself a little bit, young man, and just tell me all about it.
You've got 2, so that's a mixed success.
Yeah.
He clearly calms, but he's not under your sway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, me and my crew, we roll from place to place. In the daytime, people think we're little mystery solvers, but, like, there's things that go bump in the night, man, and we've learned how to put them down real good.
Are you trying to suggest that the realm of the supernatural is in fact real? I all the time sort of keeping an eye on where Thaddeus is.
In the background, clang, 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 clang.
Oh no, very
clang.
silently, eerily silently.
Is it eerily silent? That's the question.
To that point, like, I'll get to the top and I'll like, just peek over the edge. What's the exact layout of this thing that he's on top of?
Obviously, there's steps that go up.
Uh-huh.
There's 3 water slides. Mm-hmm. They're like completely shrouded in darkness because it is midnight. There's a single control panel. It is lit up. A key has been put in and to activate it. He's standing right next to that. He has a crossbow. It's clearly been modified. This is like some kind of repeater crossbow.
Okay. Guardrails?
There's 1 on each side.
Okay. Do you want to ask anything else?
I'm just going to keep him talking. Please do tell me more. I have a keen interest in the other world. I've read many books on the subject.
You can just come back in the morning, man, if I'm still here.
Is there any need to stay here if this place is not as safe as you say?
I'm going to need you to roll me a human check. You can roll 2 dice, because you got charm, but you're going to need to roll human tech for this one.
5 and a 2.
Stuff's going down, man. You can't be here, man.
And when he says, "Stuff's going down, man," I'll say, "Indeed," and push him over the edge of the tower.
Okay, roll me 2 vampire, because that is unfortunately very, very funny.
That's 2, that's my number.
Okay, and the other one is?
And the other one's a 1.
Excellent, okay, so...
I was going to suggest you just do that. It's much less hassle than anything else.
He doesn't even see you, you just catch him in the small of the back, and he topples over the edge, screaming as he goes. What's the one question you want to ask me?
What's the one question I want to ask? Where's the bloody dog?
Oh, that's a really, really good question.
Pertinent question.
A deep growl reverberates from the inside of one of those log flumes. Oh, no, not from the log flume, from one of the water slides. Yeah.
Okay.
Glad I'm down here.
I will look across to the source of the growl.
There is a crack in the clouds. A dog comes out. It's got a weird look. Like, this is one of those that you can tell it's significantly more intelligent than a dog really has any right to be. And when it slinks out from this water slide, it feels like it keeps getting bigger. And like, bigger. This isn't just like puffing up the way a cat does, it's getting a lot bigger. As the full moon comes out from behind a crest of cloud, Scobart, the trucking werewolf, hunches over you. With a growl, he slams his meaty paw on the controls as Wet Willie's Wild Wonderful Ride starts up, surrounding you both with a disc of running water.
A disc?
I'm down at the bottom, aren't I?
You're one side of the water flume or the other.
Right.
You get to choose right now whether you're... It's a large area. Like, it's not just like surrounded by it. It's a big open space.
I guess I'm on the same side as Thaddeus.
He said
dejectedly.
You get one action.
Okay. What I would like to do is tap into my vampiric essence and bring it forth as much as I can. And my eyes go dark and slightly red. My face does that thing that all the vampires do when they become particularly vampire-y. And I become a big grey Batman with like pointy claws and bat wings growing out of my back.
Excellent. So that's your move.
I'm going to say that's that transformation requires a roll.
Yeah, I think that's going to require a roll.
But I've got one success there.
One success. Okay. It works, but this is not an instantaneous transformation. Like, you're plunging deep into the well within your soul. And in that time, he reaches up one long, impossibly long arm, and he bats you right off that goddamn tower. And it hits you like a cannonball. I imagine you are sent crashing into the ground below, but the transformation will still complete. You have still got a success. Are you going to alert your comrade outside the bounds on your psychic wavelength? Because now would be a really good time to have an extra guy, especially one who's like murder obsessed in the way that Bert is.
Murder obsessed?
No one like just comes up with I'm making a paste of rats.
I'm a bit much more murder obsessed this time.
Yeah, like I'm just trying to prove myself. I'm not going out of my way to murder people.
Well, if you need to prove yourself against anything, a werewolf's a pretty good place to start.
Yeah, I mean, I will probably announce to the knight in general, like, I think it's a werewolf.
Now, does the body of
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus?
Unkempt.
Unkempt, yes.
That's what his friends call him. His real name's Melville.
Oh, what happened to that?
It thuds into the ground. It's a piece of paste.
Right, okay.
Like, dude's extremely dead.
Right, okay, that's fine. I will mentally call to Bert and say, Bert, things have taken a turn. You wouldn't mind nipping over and maybe giving us a little hand?
I'll turn off the radio and I'll be like, hello?
Bert!
What?
Bert!
What?
Bert!
Hello? This is scary.
Bert, it's Percy. I'm using telepathy.
Right. Hello.
Hello. Can you come to the middle of the water park? It's probably better if you see it for yourself, but you know, as I say, things have taken a bit of a turn.
Right. Okay. Are the keys still in the van? Can I try and drive the van?
I burst all the tyres!
Yeah, but like, can I drive the van?
Unfortunately, no. The keys are somewhere in the paste that was unkempt.
Okay. I'll get out.
He's even more unkempt now.
Yeah.
How on earth did you manage to turn the radio on? Never mind.
I'll run over there on my gassy legs.
If you want to attempt to reincorporate them, now is the time. I will let you roll a vampire check on it.
Okay. 4.
That's success.
That's above.
It's above your 2.
I'll reincorporate one of them.
One of them.
It is a mixed success. He is allowed to do that. It does not impede the way you run. It just looks a bit weird.
Feels like pins and needles.
It feels like pins and needles.
On my turn, if we're doing turns, I'll just get up and go and fly up at the dog and try and scratch its eyes out with my vampire claws. I'm not expecting to win the fight, but I'm going to have the fight. 2 dice.
Yeah, you're ruthless.
Oh, that's 2 1s.
That's probably the only way this could have worked. You rise, obviously, you bring your great wings down and you leap up. And here's where the rules of the supernatural meet Newton's rules, including the ones about conservation of momentum. And if a really, really big werewolf is coming down at you and you're coming up, you're going down with the werewolf. You crash back into the concrete as Scobert, the trucking werewolf, he's going to maul you to bits. I'm just going to say, you're going to have to spend a vampire to get out of the next situation because you're just being mauled by this great... It looks like a Great Dane if a Great Dane was like a werewolf.
Right.
So he's got like the big floppy jowls, but he is also biting into you really hard and it is hurting.
This is normally what I do to other people. I can see why they don't enjoy it.
Oh no, I'm reconsidering all of my choices! I'm a horrible, horrible person! Percy has summoned Bert over. Percy, obviously you are surrounded by this ring of water. You notice that the water is coming from a singular pipe that's rising from the ground all the way to the top of the loop, because it's a slow circular slide. I mean, like, you can also just choose to try and hide from the werewolf that's currently mauling your friend to death.
Is there an avenue of escape from this, or am I completely surrounded by running water?
You are completely surrounded by running water.
Okay.
However, like I said, there is that pipe that's bringing the water to release Wet and Wonderful.
Okay, I'm going to use my vampiric speed, and I'm going to just push over to whatever controls the outflow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that up on the tower?
It's up on the tower, yeah.
It's up on the tower, right. I'm just going to Lestat my way up there. You've all seen Interview with the Vampire, yeah.
Does Lestat go up?
He just...
walls?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
He's got the cloud gift.
I've seen Dracula do that a couple of times, but not...
I mean, we can all agree at least one vampire can do it, ergo it's possible in this fiction.
Yeah, so I'll push my way up the tower. Is it obvious to me what's the off button?
There's a big red off button. There's two buttons. One is depressed and one is not depressed.
Right, that's fine. I'll just slam that hard.
You do that and the werewolf, his head snaps to you immediately.
I say, no boy, down! Down, boy!
And however, now that the ring of running water has been cut off, this means that our boy Bert, he can approach.
With your gas leg.
With a gas leg.
Interesting. What would I do against a werewolf is the thing. What would Bert do?
If you've got nothing planned, I've got some.
Yeah, go on.
So I am going to take advantage of Scobert's distraction, and when it looks away and stops biting my head off, I'm going to reach over to the splat area, which used to be unkempt, and I'm going to grab his crossbow bolt that was loaded from it, and I'm going to jam that into Scobert's neck.
I am going to need you to roll one human on this, because this is very difficult, because, the werewolf might take issue with you trying to do this.
Well, it very much might. That's a 6. That is as much of a fail as it can be. Can I spend a blood point?
You can't.
I'll give you a blood point.
Go on, he's giving you a blood point.
Roll again.
Yeah, that's the mechanic.
2, which is my number.
That's your number. It means it succeeds.
Fantastic.
You get to also ask one question.
My question is, given that these are vampire hunters, was that crossbow bolt silver-tipped?
It was.
Ha-ha!
I can give you another one for free.
Yeah.
He's a very big werewolf.
Yeah.
But you now have, in your possession, one silver-tipped crossbow bolt.
And it's in my possession and his neck.
I will make you roll for that, because now you've got it. You've taken it. Bert.
I could transform into an owl.
Which you now know to be...
Poisonous.
Yep.
And I could become eaten by the werewolf.
I actually see nothing wrong with this plan. I will give you 2 dice if you want to roll it, because that, I think we can agree, is foolish.
Mm-hmm. It's foolish.
And it's good radio.
It's good radio. Transform into an owl! 2.
Yep, and you get to roll
Which
again.
is your number.
And 2.
So, you get to ask a question, and you also automatically succeed at what you were doing.
I'll transform into a perfect owl.
What kind of owl?
I'm the most poisonous owl. What is the most poisonous owl? And I'll transform into it.
An African dwarf owl.
I'll become an African dwarf owl of tremendous toxicity and lineage and
Lineage.
and meat. It's like a large.
You are a true emblem of the goddess of the night.
Mm-hmm. I proved you wrong.
Yep.
I'll just careen directly into the werewolf's mouth.
Well, you rolled success. And this hurts, okay? There's no way to describe how this is not pain that sets every neuron of your body on fire. Werewolf mouths are almost entirely teeth, and you are entirely owl.
Yes.
However, you are the image of the goddess of night, and your unholy ichor drips down his maw, making him gasp and cough and writhe and reel back.
This is your chance.
This is your chance, as he is being poisoned by owls. I will give you 1 dice. And if people want to contribute blood points, now would be the time.
I'll contribute a blood point.
contribute one from his mouth.
Well, let's get the 3rd dice then.
Yep, you may roll all 3 dice, and I want you to roll human.
Okay, human.
Well, because otherwise if you roll vampire, you're just going to crush it.
That's a 1.
Yep.
A 3 and a 3.
So only the one that's a success, but I did get 1.
It's a success! And a successful take. And I shall say the consequence is, this does not free beloved Bert from the mouths of the werewolf.
But that's not the plan.
That's not the plan?
Yeah.
You take a step forward and you drive that quarrel right into the werewolf's heart. The brave, beautiful beast, Scobert, he takes a staggering step back as he shrinks, his fur becoming less glossy, more matted. The light of intelligence seems to fade from his eyes as a Great Dane slumps over on the concrete, broken bird in his mouth. Great, you killed the mystery machine.
I'll just sort of float back down. So, well, that us then?
Yeah, I think I just killed a werewolf.
Yeah. Is Bert alive?
Is that Bert?
I think so.
I'll
Prise open the jaws of the dog and pull out the soggy, bedraggled owl. Is it still alive?
It's still alive.
Honk.
Whatever blessing the Queen of the Night has given you, it has not gone all the way to your owlish vocal cords.
I'll just rub him in the blood stain of unkempt. Hopefully
I don't
he
think
can,
that counts.
Absorb some of it.
I don't think that... like a squeegee.
Yeah.
I'd like to go home now, please.
And we can.
And you do. When you get back to your house, there is one of the Graf's thralls there, sitting neatly on one of your chairs with a black cloth over its head.
I say, job's done.
The wolf thing is dead.
Yep.
Excellent.
It was weak to owls.
Fascinating. Your knowledge of the night grows.
I told
Is
you.
Bert still an owl at this point?
Bert, are you still now?
Like an owl underslung, but like the face is starting to become more human.
I'm just carrying Bert under my arm. As an owl, he's a sort of bedraggled owl man.
Yeah, bedraggled, limbs out of place.
He's still quite small though. He's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
dwarf owl. He's just nestled.
Careful,
to my
though, I am poisonous.
But no, I can handle. I'm a laugher.
Wonderful. Then my business with the mare is concluded. As a gift, I leave you the blood of this thing, this thrall, and we will meet again on another eve.
And then, almost as if someone's left a phone on, the sound of Mayor Kelly screaming as he is slowly devoured by the, Weekend at Bernie's Graf. And then the thrall sits silent, still.
I say, well, it's been a night. I take the thrall by the shoulder. Says, now, would you like to see something? And I take the thrall up to the attic and lock the door behind.
The last thing the thrall says is, "It's beautiful." As the trailing light of dawn breaks over November the 1st, a beautiful day, a holy day. 3 vampires, flush in the powers of victory, and some with their minds and abilities expanded.
I'm so smug.
Honestly, Bert deserves to be smug. The mangled corpses of 4 plucky teenagers are found in 2 really bizarre locations. The Jameson house is, well, we can leave the fate for that another day. And they're
Probably burned down anyway. What with that open furnace that we just left?
It's an insurance job.
It's an insurance job. And I imagine that's the sound of 3 coffins slamming shut at the end of a lovely evening.